welcome to Bread of Life. Our speaker for this week is Pastor Bill Huegel of Wallingford.
Have you ever wondered why some people need to suffer so much? Or why any of us who love God need to suffer? Hi, I'm Bill Huegel, and that is an age-old question. Listen to the pain of Job. Chapter 3, verse 3. May the day of my birth perish, and the night that it was said, a boy is born. That day may it turn to darkness. May God above not care about it. May no light shine upon it. And then Job's friends try to figure it out. They just know that it can't be God's fault that Job is suffering. The problem must be Job himself. He must have sinned, and so he deserved this suffering. Chapter 4, verse 6. Eliphaz says, "Should not your piety be your confidence, and your blameless ways your hope? Consider now, who being innocent has ever perished? Where were the upright ever destroyed?" Oh my, how I wish Eliphaz were right. But sometimes the innocent do perish. Sometimes the upright are destroyed. Consider the issues of Christian persecution, which Jesus predicted would happen to those who chose to follow him. So let's go through it. Let's talk about why some people suffer. Number one, it's true that some people do suffer because they made poor choices. Sometimes, good choices matter. If you abuse your body by ingesting illegal drugs, that might kill you. If you drink alcohol to excess, you may destroy your liver. If you steal from the company, you will likely get caught and you may lose your job. It matters, the choices that you make. So sometimes people suffer because of their poor choices, and then sometimes we suffer because others have sinned against us. Sometimes politicians sin against their own people. This world has had more than its share of people like Adolf Hitler of Germany and Idi Amin of Africa, Joseph Stalin of Russia, and Haiti's Duvalier. And the list could get very long. Greed, power, hatred are all a part of the mix of sins that cause other people to suffer. Greed, power, and hatred. Oh my. And sometimes people do stupid, awful, sinful things. They drive while they're drunk, and their sins cause accidents which hurt other people. Drug addicts rob small gas stations. Alcoholics beat their wives and abuse their children. The list could get very long. So sometimes we suffer because of the sins of others. Sometimes we suffer because we live in a sinful world. Sometimes our sinful world gets pretty ugly. Well, for example, there's corporate sin. Fish die in beautiful lakes of the mountains of upstate New York because of acid rain caused by the pollution hundreds of miles away. More and more people are getting skin cancer, 7 or 8 times as many people than was the case 50 years ago. Pollution has caused this thing called the thinning of the ozone layer that filters out ultraviolet rays of the sun that can harm us. It's a delicate universe, and if countries and corporations destroy it, people will suffer. We suffer because we live in a sinful world. Well, there's one final reason that people suffer, and this is a hard one. Sometimes people suffer not because they have sinned, but because they are faithful. Jesus did. He was the sinless Son of God, and it took him to the cross. Furthermore, Jesus warns his disciples that they should expect the same thing. He said the servant is no better than his master. If the master suffers death and persecution, the disciples need to be ready to face the same thing. So take up your cross and follow me, Jesus said. The cross is an instrument of unfair suffering. Expect it. He may be allowing the trial like Job, just to see if we will be faithful.
You've been listening to Pastor Bill Huegel of Wallingford, and this has been Bread of Life, a program to encourage you from God's Word.